If I have my family in the car, I want to make sure everybody's safe. The last thing I want to worry about is my EGTs in that moment. That's just stupid.
I've been reading a lot online. It seems like non-VGTs are actually a really good option for a lot, 6.0s, stuff like that. Like your truck you just got. Why not go non-VGT?
I like to drive my truck as a truck. And you know what? Non-VGT will have a spot. Yeah. Ginormous injectors, dedicated race trucks. Those are great for non-VGT. I 100% get that. And I admit that that's the way to go. If you use your truck as a truck, then you want to keep a VGT. And at the end of the day, nothing will spool up as quick as a VGT. A non-VGT will be a lot smokier. It is not emission compliant under no circumstance. And those are all things that I don't like about a non-VGT. And most of the time, why do people switch to a non-VGT? Why do they do that? Oh, my truck didn't spool, or my truck was wrong. Because, again, you had bad technicians that did not know what they were looking at, couldn't figure out the problem with the truck, and just shotgun the best solution, which is replace everything. Yeah, you change it to a system that's controlled by your right foot, and that's about it. Yeah, that will fix the issue. But now the truck is useless. Then there is guys that do sled pulling. Yeah, non-VGT is great. If it's in your class, you want to do that. You want to do 330 150s and the S488, go for it. Guess what? My stage 1 on stock sticks will be faster. On the street, it will be faster. Until you spool up and you get the truck going, you might blow by me on the interstate all of a sudden. You do 120 while I'm still doing 80. That might be. If you catch me, because I'm going to be 2 miles ahead.
Yep.
And that's just how it is. Non-VGTs are a smoke show. They serve no street truck purpose, in my opinion. If you want to have more power and the VGT cannot do that, go compounds.
Yeah,
do a VGT with a non-VGT over it. It's great. It is probably the biggest blast you can have driving a 6-liter. It's expensive, I agree. But that's the way to go. If you want to have a high horsepower truck you can still use for everything, you're going to go compounds. You never go non-VGT on a street truck. Makes no sense.
Yeah. Best example by far is that 6.0 excursion that Charlie's got. He's got, what is it, a stage 1? Yeah. Stage 1 is, will that be your high pressure turbo? So it's the smaller one?
Should be, yeah. That's your high pressure.
Yeah. So you got
into the big, which is a low pressure.
Yeah. So he's got a stage 1, and what's the non-VGT, like an S?
I think he has an S475.
Huge. And he's only running, what, 190/30s on there?
Yes.
And that makes 700 horsepower, I think, and it just looks like this. It goes straight up, and then the torque just goes till 4,000, and then it goes down a little bit.
And the truck drives great. It drives like a freaking stock truck. Like, there is no quirkiness about it. It just drives like a normal truck. Tony's truck is the best example in the world. You have a stage 3 dual ball bearing with an S488 and 330 150s. Plus the thing has a bottle on it. Mm-hmm. That truck tows a 48-foot toy hauler from Phoenix, Arizona to Flagstaff. That's just uphill the entire time.
Long hill, too.
So he tows heavy, he tows max weight, unhooks the trailer, goes to the racetrack, makes a couple passes, giggles because he's in the 10s, and then goes back home.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Give me a non-VGT can't do that. It's just facts.
Yeah. Yeah, and just like Jason was saying before we were filming, like, I mean, he tried to pull what was it, a 28-foot trailer just across town, you were saying?
Yeah, tried to pull another truck.
Yeah, it's just a simple car hauling trailer, but I loaded a truck on it, a crew cab short bed. Yeah, and that was with a 369 and 25100s, and it was horrendous freight train.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, roll coal, no power at the bottom. And then you have to tow at wherever the happy band of your turbo size is, which is probably over 3,000.
Well, it might not be over 3,000 just getting to your power band. You complain. Why would you complain that you didn't like your VGT? What's wrong with it? Give me one good reason why you wouldn't have a VGT on a 6-liter. Oh, I'm trying to make 700 horsepower. Okay, cool. So you're not using it as a truck. If you want to use it as a truck and have that horsepower, you go compounds. If you want to have up to 600 horsepower or 650, you stay with a VGT. And all those 800 horsepower trucks, it's weird that they lose all those races against stock trucks that actually run right. That's the sad part. Or the 600 horsepower truck will always win against the 800 horsepower claimed truck. And that's just facts.
Yeah. Yeah, and that kind of brings up what Tyler Hewitt's doing right now. Because, you know, he's like, all right, I need to build the fastest 6.0 on the cheapest amount of money. What do I do? And it's like, well, realistically, just do a budget turbo, big sticks, and a lot of nitrous. Because you're going to crush anyone that has a monster non-VGT, way too big of sticks off 60 foot, especially if you're racing 8th mile. My money's on the guy with a VGT and nitrous.
Oh, VGT and nitrous is the best way.
Yeah.
In the end of the day, you can see the nitrous as adding a turbo to it.
Exactly.
That's the only thing you're doing. So a VGT for the bottom end, then you spray the top end, you put the biggest sticks you can in it on a factory H-pop, and then you're good to go. Yeah. You have no issues. You can run 250-100s on a stage 3, and you will not blow the stage 3 up. Improper tuning will blow the stage 3 up.
Blow up anything.
You can blow up everything if you try hard enough. Yeah, I can blow the turbo up with stock sticks. Doesn't matter if I get it hot enough.
Yeah. Yeah, get it hot enough, command the vanes closed, done.
Yep.
I think that's another issue or another benefit people don't talk about on VGT turbos. Like, well, if you're using it for a tow truck, if you have a VGT turbo, you can, if you don't already have one, like 6.7s, some of them do, you can just add a VGT exhaust brake on a switch, you know? It's like there are just added benefits.
I personally am not a fan of exhaust brakes. Don't need them. I mean, give me a break. How can it be that I tow 20,000 pounds down a steep ass grade for miles, and my truck's fine? Why is everybody so terrified of RPM?
Yeah.
Just downshift. Let the engine brake it. Why are people so afraid of RPM? Yes, it's a diesel. Yes, we all know your grandpa told you can't go over 1,500 RPM. It's a lie. You can. It's fine. It's the same guys that try to lug up a hill. Oh, I'm going to try to tow my 6-liter with a 15,000 pound trailer at 1,600 RPM. It's not going to work. Get in a 6-liter, put it in drive, and throttle it, and now look how high the RPM goes until the truck starts moving. You're at 1,500 RPM, and you tell me you tow at 1,600? And then you wonder why stuff burns down or gets hot?
Yeah.
It doesn't work. I hold mine at 3,000 RPM almost every day, and it's totally fine. For 250,000 miles back then. Never had an issue. All my trucks been driven like that, and 6.0s don't break through RPM. It's the biggest misconception ever. It's not a Cummins. It likes RPM.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not going to snap a camshaft on the racetrack.
No, it's not a 7.3. It's not a Cummins. They will not break as soon as you go at 3,000 RPM. It's not going to hurt it.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is. A 7.3 is the same thing. Ford said you shouldn't tow under 2,200 RPM.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to do it? Yeah, from a factory. Why are you going to try to do that with a bigger turbo now at 1,500? And now you're mad that you have high AGTs. Yeah, guess what? Learn how to drive.
Downshift, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing to talk about, too. Is there, you know, playing devil's advocate, I want to go non-VGT. Maybe that's my goal is the way I'd like to drive, and I'm not going to change that. Causes me to have really high EGTs. But if I go to a non-VGT turbo, that would lower my exhaust gas temperature.
If you keep it in the power band, everything will. In the end of the day, what does for example, VGT do at wide open? It mimics a non-VGT. It mimics a big turbo. So if you have a non-VGT and you're in the higher RPM band, of course it's going to tow. It's going to be totally fine. Now you have you're stuck in traffic on that hill, which happens to me all the freaking time because Arizona roads get busy. I slow sometimes down, or I have to slow down to 10 miles an hour going on a long grade. Now I have to get up to speed.
Yeah.
Now try that with a non-VGT.
It's going to be really hard on your truck.
It's just going to be hard on you. It's going to cause you a headache. The last thing when I tow heavy I want to worry about is my truck. I want to worry about my load and make sure everything is fine.
Yeah.
If I have my family in the car, I want to make sure everybody's safe. The last thing I want to worry about is my EGTs in that moment. That's just stupid.